Live from beautiful Fresno, California, and as my partner Dean likes to say, the Matt Morse Digital Studio.
Thank you for giving him his just due. I'm sure he's appreciative.
It's another episode of the Beem and Dean show. Dean is letting me ride, do the driving today. He's going to ride shotgun
Backseat.
a little bit, so we're going to try out something a little new here and have me kind of lead the show in the direction that I want to lead it. And so my first topic, Dean, is Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Right on the edge of Halloween.
Sure.
Here. Your thoughts on Halloween? I've never been a huge Halloween guy. Now that I have kids, obviously, I love trick-or-treating with the kids, and the kids really buy into it. But have you been a Halloween guy? Do you get kind of caught up in it?
I like Halloween. I liked it a lot more when I was younger, in terms of when I was dressing up and going out and trick-or-treating. When you're a homeowner, it's a whole different kind of thing. Am I gonna go all out and decorate? Am I just gonna do a pumpkin? Am I just gonna get candy? We always give candy out. We're never that family that shuts the lights off and go. Now we have a limit. Like if it's a weekday, we're usually shutting the lights off by about 8:45. But it's on a Friday night this time. We'll probably go a little longer. I love Halloween though. Sure, it's great. Kids love it. But yeah, as a homeowner, as you well know, are you doing a lot of climbing, or do you go all out, or what do you do?
Well, every day is Halloween, by the way, here at the station, because Dean has a candy box in his office, and so about once or twice a week, you will see his partner here on the radio show just kind of cruise by for a lollipop or whatever.
You're always welcome. Yeah, I've actually got a Halloween bowl too, so we'll have to get a shot of that for the next episode.
Here's my only issue with Halloween,
Sure.
especially when you become an adult, is that we have so many things going on in our lives, right? The stresses of daily life, job, home, all this stuff. Getting a costume and having a good costume ready to go, to me, is another stress that I don't need in my life, right?
Sure.
But there's some people who just absolutely love it. I've never been a scary movie guy either.
Me neither.
So that's another reason that Halloween is kind of lost on me a little bit. Yeah. I love the candy portion of it, right?
Sure.
I mean, I love eating candy, all that stuff. And
sure.
What kind of candy are we giving out?
Oh man, I'm a Tootsie Roll guy. I get that multi-pack, and you've got dots in there. You've got the long Tootsie Rolls, the thicker ones, the little mini ones. They got the fruit chews in there. I'm a Tootsie Roll guy. What about you?
I'm a Snickers guy.
Okay. My dad was too.
Kit Kat guy as well. Love those two. One candy that nobody ever has that I think is incredibly underrated is a Heath bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so whenever I stumble across a Heath bar, even if it's a small Heath bar, I feel like I've struck gold.
Nice.
All right, so Halloween, Friday night, that's pretty cool for the kids, having Halloween on a Friday night.
And then buying kids a costume too can be a little stressful too, when they tell you last minute, I don't have anything, and your wife's like going through Amazon, what can she get, in short term. So shout out to Julie for always getting the kids taken care of, and Susan. So go ahead.
Well, speaking of kids, time to come in hot, Dean. All right, no truth to the rumor that Game 3 of the Dodgers-Blue Jays game is still ongoing as we're taping this, by the way.
Right.
All right, so here's what I got today.
Okay.
Am I a good or a bad parent? Other night, Game 3.
Yes.
About 10 o'clock, my son's on his screen. We've got the World Series on. It's in the 12th or 13th inning, I think, at that point, at 10 p.m.
Yep.
And I say, without consulting my wife, which is always dangerous, right?
Dangerous.
At that point.
Playing with fire.
Yeah, 10 a.m. I mean, we're already a little late with our bedtimes in the Bemis household, but 10 a.m. is 9:30, 10 is when the kids usually go to bed. My 12-year-old son, my 9-year-old daughter.
Yep.
Hey, when I was a kid, if there was a World Series game that was in extra innings, I would want to stay up until the final pitch, no matter what age I was.
Yeah.
And so I turned to my son and I said, hey, if you get off that screen, because if you're going to stay on the screen, then we're just going to go to bed. But if you get off that iPad and watch the rest of the World Series with me, I'll let you stay up until the end of this game.
Wow.
Am I a good or bad parent there?
Father of the year. Father of the year. I mean, Father of the Year. I'm just going to go out and say it. Absolutely.
There's a reason I'm the favorite, right?
You are. Yeah, you are the favorite, I mean, you just think about those memories, though. I remember, I think I was in second grade or whatever, and one of the teachers let us watch the Dodgers playing the Expos, and we got that big home run. We won that playoff game. I'll never forget that. It's just one of those things. Coop's not going to forget that Dad let him stay up for 18 straight. It was almost midnight. I think it was like 10:50 or 11:53. When Freddie finally hit it out.
I made him pinky promise me when he went to bed, finally at midnight, basically, that, hey, when you get up in the morning, because I was taking him to school in the morning the next day,
you better not be grumpy and tired.
There is no complaining. So thankfully, when I got out of bed in the morning, he was already up. He looked like he was not in a good spot. He said, man, I'm tired, Dad. And I said, okay, next time, you let that be a lesson. I mean, if you want to stay up, we can,
Right.
but let that be a lesson to you. But you're right. Some of those memories that I have when I was a kid, because
Sure.
in our era, Dean, also, not everything was televised like it is today.
Right.
So when you got to the playoffs, everything was televised.
Yeah.
Every game was on network television. And so we would be in elementary school. I remember watching, the Angels Red Sox series in 86.
Yes.
They were played afternoon games then, like they still do now. But when they were playing afternoon games, we had the cool third grade teacher who would let us, watch the game and put it on. And gosh, it was so cool. It was so cool to be able to watch a game at that point.
I feel the same way.
So yeah, anyways, okay. All right. So good parenting.
Father of the year, folks. Father of the year.
Hey, real quick, following up on the World Series.
Yeah.
That game 3, Shohei Ohtani, all the walks, right? The boos. If you're tuning in, if you're not a huge baseball guy, you tune in to watch Shohei Ohtani, right? When he's up at the plate, you're not changing the channel. Mm-hmm. So here's my thought. I've brought up a rule change, a possible rule change on this show before.
Right.
That I think every team should be allowed to pick one player, that if you walk that player, he gets 2 bases. Oof. As a way to try to guarantee more often than not that they will get a chance to swing the bat. What do you think, Dean? You like it?
I like it. I mean, he went on base 9 times that night, but I mean, honestly, and he obviously set a record. But I mean, it wasn't the 9 times or the 9 ways that you would hope that he would get on, right? It's just 2 outs, and the Dodgers obviously haven't been hitting well ever since they've come home. It's been, just anemic. And so it was anemic also on Monday night. It was not good. They probably will still be playing that game if it wasn't for Freddie Freeman. So,
but my whole point is for baseball, right? From an entertainment value, you want these guys with an opportunity, not only to swing the bat, but in that case, an opportunity to make baseball history in a way, right? I mean, they weren't walking Reggie Jackson, I don't think, when he hit the 3 home runs in the same game.
Nope.
I'd have to go back and watch the game. But
I don't think so, though.
But to me, it's just too easy to pitch around someone. You got to make that a little bit more punishable for a star player, because that's what's driving your game.
Yeah.
Those are what are going to get eyeballs on the television sets. And I mean, either way, people are watching that game because it was so unique. At least I think they were.
We got to get you in a room with Rob Manfred. Let's get this thing done.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Let's do this.
All right. Switching off of baseball, because I know you're getting a little bummed out right now about the Dodgers, where they're at. Yeah,
I'm trying.
Yeah. And right now, as we're taping this, by the way, they're down in Game 4, right? No, Game 5. In Game 5.
Yeah, they're down 3-1 in Game 5. It's late, and not good.
So we'll see. But maybe by the time this airs, it'll be a whole different thing. But
we'll see.
All right, we can talk some college football. We love talking football here on this show. And let's touch on Fresno State real quick.
Sure.
Fresno State at Boise State this weekend. I don't think many people, really us included, are giving the Dogs much of a chance in this game. Although I do think the Dogs will bounce back with a spirited, energetic performance. Okay. Whether that translates, to a win, that's asking a lot when you're a 17
How about a touchdown, Scotty? Let's just start small. Let's start small. Just a touchdown. Look, can we just do that? Can we do a Carson Conklin touchdown of some sort? Would be awesome.
We got to build some confidence with him too going forward. But I think week 1 to week 2, I expect to see some strides from Conklin. So important if the Dogs want to have a chance of actually getting a win in this game, of getting off to a good start in this game, right? I mean, this is a team that feels like they have to play from in front. If they're down and they got to throw the football over the lot, they're in trouble. And it's obviously not easy to play in Boise. But I think Malik Sherrod being on the other side, it kind of serves a little extra motivation too, right?
Sure.
For the Dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. Going against your former teammates and stuff. And then, honestly, like this Boise team, they're prime right now. They're still in contention for a New Year's Bowl, possibly a playoff bowl. They have a lot to play for right now. Obviously the Mountain West Conference Championship. They cannot, stub their toe at home against Fresno State. As for Fresno State, I mean, Matt Enns he's dug his heels in. I'm staying with Carson Conklin for the rest of the year as long as he's healthy, and good for him. He's sticking to his guns, and they got to get the running game going too. It's not just Carson Conklin. They've got to get the running game going.
Well, that's important for them to get out in front early, so
right.
they can stick with the running game the way they want to as well.
No question.
They're not tempted because they're down a score or two to start throwing a ton. You still got to mix in the pass as well, but the way to mix in the pass is to run the ball effectively. Now, whether they can or not, we'll see, Dean. I mean, we keep saying, hey, they need to run the ball, right? They need to run the ball. Mm-hmm. We'll see if they can actually run the ball against a team like Boise.
We have seen teams run the ball against Boise to start the year. South Florida, their quarterback went off. I know that Conklin's not necessarily a running quarterback like Byron Brown is, but Boise's defense, though, does give up yards and points. They have. So,
I also
opportunity's there.
I also think the demise of Boise has been greatly exaggerated as well. They are still, the torchbearer in the Mountain West. All right, looking nationwide as far as Saturday's college football action, I'm calling them 3 to see here, Dean.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's start with Vandy at Texas, 2 ranked teams going at it here. Texas, only a 2.5-point favorite over Vanderbilt. If I had said that to you, 3 years ago, heck, 7 years ago, what would be your reaction?
Oh man, it would just
you would have been putting the house on Texas at that point.
I would have probably put you in a loony bin too. So if you're setting that kind of line, but I mean things have changed. I mean Clark Lee, what he has done at Vanderbilt is just impressive. College Game Day was there last week. They had Kenny Chesney there. They had Dierks Bentley there. A former Vandy grad too. The excitement's back in the program, right? And then for Texas, you're Sarkisian, you see all these coaches getting canned around you. They survived that game against Mississippi State last week. That was something.
Sark's name has kind of been hinted out there as well, maybe for
he wasn't
NFL
too happy
jobs.
with that reporter, was he? Yeah, who leaked that information, if it's true or not. But I mean, if you're Texas, this is a home game. You've got to get on track. You've got to win this game. Obviously, if you have any hopes of not only getting a sniff of the SEC championship game, but possibly getting to a playoff berth. Your losses aren't horrible, right?
Sure.
So,
one interesting thing here is Arch is in concussion protocol. But every time I've seen this backup throw a pass, Matthew Caldwell, I've been impressed. He's got some small school roots, as far as I think he played at a couple like Jacksonville State and some other place like that. But he's throwing the ball well. So I don't know. Sometimes the backup quarterback being in there is not always the worst thing when your high profile starter has been.
Right.
Not necessarily living up to expectations or preseason expectations.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Georgia, Florida now. World's largest outdoor
cocktail party.
We're calling it that. I will never stop calling it that because I think it's one of the greatest nicknames for a game that's out there in the college ranks.
It is.
But, we've seen it a bunch of times, Dean, in recent years. The interim coach boost, the Tim Skipper boost, we should call it. Will Florida see an interim coach boost? Can they get a win against Florida in Jacksonville, neutral site?
I think they can. Will they? I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what they're going to roll out there. Lagway, is he going to be the Lagway that played against Texas in Gainesville? Or is it going to be the Lagway that, has just had trouble in Baton Rouge and you name it, some of these other places? As for Florida, their situation, obviously the rumors are all around about, who's going to be the next head coach. And, Billy's gone, so, Kirby's really good at keeping his guys focused on eyes on the prize, and they can't afford any slip-ups either, Scott, at this point, if they want to get where they want to go. So this is a big game for Georgia, a big statement game and a big rivalry game, right? So
I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game.
You do.
And, Gunnar Stockton, I've been really impressed with him. I think he can keep scoring. I mean, Georgia's defense hasn't necessarily played to the level that I'm accustomed to. You gave up all those points against Tennessee. I've heard some stats today on the radio about, their lack of a pass rush. They have one of the worst pass rushes in the entire country. Georgia. We're talking about the Georgia Bulldogs.
Right.
It's kind of shocking to see. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some points in that one. And then Penn State, Ohio State. Before the season started, this would have been like a game of the year, right?
It would have been.
Penn State and Ohio State. Now it's kind of just getting glossed over a little bit this week. Penn State, interim coach, the old interim coach. They have any shot here, Dean?
I don't think so. It's an interesting line, though, 21.5, right? That's a monster number.
20.5 was what I saw.
Yeah, I saw 21 earlier, 21.5. It must have, maybe the guys were betting it down a little bit. We'll see. But Ohio State, again, a team on a mission, playing well. They have a Big Ten championship and they want to repeat as champions. So we'll see, Scotty. It's going to be interesting. The game is, in Columbus. So we'll see what Penn State comes out with. They had a spirited effort, against Iowa. They just came up, where were they after the Iowa game? The Iowa game that was James Franklin's last one. They had another game after that they just came up short, and then I think they had a bye week. So they're playing better under their interim coach, but we'll see. So
that's going to be a tough ask, I think, there. All right, each week with the college football slate, Dean, you and I like to identify one underdog that we think could win outright. In other words, a dog that could be barking.
Sure.
Gosh, I almost got there again. This is like 2 or 3 straight weeks.
Yes, you did.
Where I've had leads in the second half with a close to plus 200 money line underdog, and I can't get there. It was Mississippi State versus Texas last week. They had a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter, and they couldn't get the W in the end. All right, so my dog that could be barking this week, and it pains me to do this.
Pains me to see it.
I think Nebraska is live against USC. SC's had all kinds of trouble winning on the road.
Right.
And so I think USC's the better team here. I think they have the better quarterback in Jaden Maiava. I just don't trust them to be able to stop a team in Big Ten country who is decent. Now, Nebraska, they've been up and down this year. Up and down.
But they play well at home.
They do play well at home, and the road troubles for USC in the Big Ten are real over the last couple years.
They are.
And so I don't want to see it, but I think if I had to choose one there at plus 185, I'll take Nebraska.
Yeah, okay, I got it. I'm going to do a homer move here. I'm going to go with Colorado, plus 4 at home.
I like that one.
Against Arizona. Dion laid a complete egg, took full responsibility. They were down 43-0 to Utah at the half. They ended up losing, 52-7 or something. It was just atrocious. It's a home game. It's homecoming for the Buffs. Obviously, they need this win to have any hopes of possibly going to a bowl. Not saying they are, but they cannot lose to Arizona. They beat them last year in Tucson, but they had Shedeur and Travis. But I just think they're going to bounce back this week and at least cover the 4. I hope they win outright. Have trouble with Arizona sometimes at home, so I'm just going to go with that one. Another one I keep an eye on, too, is SMU getting 12.5 at home against Miami. Miami has not played well on the road
and SMU coming off a total stinker, right? Didn't they lose to Wake at home, I think it was?
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're another team that plays a lot better.
But I think that actually serves a team well sometimes when they're coming off kind of a humiliating defeat. And that's why I would say Colorado is a good pick. I actually considered Colorado. Because I don't know, for most people probably weren't up watching that Colorado-Utah game.
Right.
It was the last game on last Saturday.
Yes.
They got absolutely humiliated by Utah in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And yes, you'd go, okay, well, why the heck are you taking them? Well, teams usually bounce back. And if you listen to Dion post game,
right.
I mean, he wasn't pulling any punches.
No.
Right? So he's pissed off.
Yes.
And so I think that message will get across. And I think you'll get a good effort out of Colorado at home in this game against Arizona. And yes, I agree with you. I like that pick.
Awesome.
Colorado as a possible dog that could be barking.
All right.
So let's move over to the NFL a little bit. Again, 3 to see Sunday or Monday in the NFL, or Thursday in this case.
Yes.
One of the games I have listed as a game to watch this weekend, starting Thursday, Ravens and Dolphins, because I think you got the return of Lamar here, right? Every game is going to be like a must-win for Baltimore at this point, right? With the hole that they've dug for themselves at this point. Lamar's coming back, and you can see it in Lamar's face. He understands the urgency that exists. And so that Ravens-Dolphins game, kind of interesting. And then you got the Dolphins on the other side. Dude, I have no idea what to make of the Dolphins.
Which Tua are we going to get? Are we going to get 5 interception Tua, or are we going to get 4 touchdown Tua? I mean, honestly, I just don't know. Dolphins at home. Big underdog. I think it was a pretty big number, wasn't it? Like 8.5?
7.5.
Yeah. I thought, okay.
If you like the Ravens, maybe look at like a teaser there, getting it down to like 1.5.
Yeah. And I highly recommend you guys do teasers, because you usually can get pretty good odds and shave it down to a point where, it's more feasible. Keeping it under a touchdown, for example, or under a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of times you just have to win the game then.
Right. True.
Or if you got a big favorite, you win by less than a touchdown, like you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, another game that I think has got my attention for Sunday, Broncos at Texans.
Agreed.
Texans a short favorite there.
Yep.
1.5. CJ Stroud found something last week, and that whole Texans offense did against the Niners. I think some of that has to do with San Francisco just being so banged up, defensively. It kind of finally caught up with them a little bit. But C.J. Stroud looked like rookie year C.J. Stroud in that game. And the Texans, again, are another team that there's a huge sense of urgency now with them every week, because they're, preseason. Yeah. That fan base is expecting them to go back to the playoffs.
Agreed.
And here they are, sitting at 2-4, I think it was, after 6 games. And, and so that's a very intriguing game to me. And also because the Broncos, can Stroud do that against a Bronco defense that's been impressive?
I think the key with the Texans too is just moving the chains, honestly, staying on the field on offense, and Stroud's a key of doing that because of his legs, So I think that's going to be a big deal, is making sure that they stay on the field on third down, and he needs to run and get opportunities and make things happen. With the Broncos, obviously, they got that miracle win against the Giants, and then they rolled last week. So they've got some momentum. Sean Payton and Bo Nix have got some momentum there. It's going to be a fun game. The game is in Houston, so we'll see how the Broncos play on the road. The last two have been at home, so I agree with you. That's going to be a challenging one. And then can the Texans hold the ball, like they did against the Niners? Ball control is a big deal to try to keep the defense fresh and keep the Broncos offense off the field. So
yeah, I mean, it's if C.J. Stroud can play like he played against the Niners, I would probably lean Texans there.
Okay.
Chiefs-Bills saved the best for last year. And what I like about this game, Dean, this is not a primetime game. This is, I believe, a Sunday afternoon game.
I'm really surprised this one wasn't the Sunday night game.
But I like seeing games like this in the earlier windows.
Sure.
I'm talking about the Chiefs at the Bills. Suddenly the Chiefs now nearly a field goal favorite, 2.5-point favorite in Buffalo. And the Chiefs, everybody writing them off after that 0-2 start. I think I said it after that Jaguars game. I will take credit that I said, look out for the Chiefs.
You did.
Their offense in that Jaguars game, it looked like the Chiefs of old, and now they're getting everybody back. They got that full complement of receivers going, and that whole offense is working. Now, going to Buffalo and getting a win is a tough task, but the Chiefs are now the Super Bowl favorite once again, Dean.
Yeah, how about that? Like you said, though, they got a lot of pieces back, though. That offense is humming now, and Travis Kelce getting almost 100 yards, on Monday night, and then Patrick Mahomes moving the ball around. Rashee Rice is back off suspension. They're working their running backs in, Pacheco, and they're just getting stuff done, So, but Josh Allen and the Bills, late afternoon, Orchard Park. It's getting cold. It's November. I mean, I know the Chiefs are used to cold weather too, but that stadium crowd there in Buffalo, they're impressive. So it's gonna be a hell of a game.
Oh, no, I'm looking forward to. Of course, the Bills no longer the leader in the AFC East, too.
Right.
They currently trail the Patriots, Ben Morris's Patriots, by a half
about
game.
That? Shout out Ben Morris.
Yeah, at this point. All right, let's get to the moment you guys have all been waiting for. Money plays.
Money plays.
And I don't really know if you've been waiting for these anxiously with the way that I've been performing this month. It's been a struggle.
But here's what we got.
All right, so here's what we got. Here's what I'm going to tell you. It's Final Jeopardy time.
Final Jeopardy.
Right? So we each start with $1,000 each month
we do.
in fictitious money.
Yep.
Everybody out there.
Yep.
And it's a contest between Dean and myself to see who can finish with more money. As you can see, I'm down to $263. I have magnificently turned my $1,000 somehow into $263.71.
Some misfortune.
Dean, meantime, has $1,289 in
so there's
fictitious
where I
money.
ended up.
Okay,
Yep.
so this is our last show of this month. So I got to make a move. What's the line in rounders? I got to make a move on Chan at this point.
That's right. You made a move on Chan?
You made a move on Chan?
And I'll do it again.
Yes.
Shout out Matt Damon if you're watching. We love you.
I don't know, Johnny. Yeah,
I don't know, Johnny. Not today.
Exactly. So I'm over $1,000 behind Dean in fictitious money here.
But not dead.
I got to do some crazy stuff.
All right.
So here's what I decided to do.
Okay.
I'm just going to put one big parlay together, Dean. It's Final Jeopardy time. We're shoving all in.
All the middle of the table, ladies and gentlemen.
All in. So all $263.71. If you're out there at home, I'm not recommending taking parlays. Unlike the parlay master across from me, Dean Shiro, I don't usually live in the world of parlays that often. And so I would bet these games individually. I do like all these games individually.
Yep.
But in order to get
the number
ahead of Dean, I'm going to need to do something wild and bold here. So you've got a 3-team, $263.71 parlay there to win
1571.60. Cha-ching.
And more than likely, I'm going to finish with 0 for the third month out of however many months, 9 months
we'll see.
That we've done this.
Yeah. We've been going since, March? April, I think, is our contest. So
you like those plays, Dean?
I do. I've actually got a couple of them. I don't have all 3 together, but I have 2 of them together. I had 2 of them together before you put yours together. All
right, let's move on to Dean's here.
All right, but anyway, yeah. So, all right, here's my list. I went for it too a little bit because I knew Scott was going to go for it. I knew that my $10 weren't going to work anymore, so I have 6 plays. I got a $40 NCAA football parlay. Give me Troy. I bought it down to 6.5. Give me Colorado. I bought that one down to 3.5 to get a little better number. And then give me California at home against a ranked Virginia team, getting 7.5. They were really, at one time, they were they were getting like, I think it was 4.5, so I bought it up.
So just to be clear, Colorado's +4, so you brought it down to plus 3.5.
I brought it down to get a little better number because also
Better
Troy
odds,
was
yeah.
like, I think -8.5 or something. So I tried to get it all in a range I wanted to. So $40 to get 172.44. A $300 NCAA football parlay. I just have 2 of Scott's plays. Give me Kansas State plus 7.5 versus
Dean, by
Texas
the way,
Tech.
I love the bravado here. We've got a $300 play, a $300 play, a $100 play, a $100 play. You know what? He's not just sitting on the lead, ladies and gentlemen.
Not going to sit on it this time because I knew that Scott was going to go for a big number, and I knew I couldn't just do $10 to win 38. So I went for it. So I like 2 of Scott's plays. I took Kansas State and moved the number up to 7.5. And got a little less money on that. And then San Diego State, I moved that one down from 10.5 to 6.5.
Oh, see, now here's the problem, though.
Right.
Here's the problem.
So I'm only getting 167 out of it compared to the 545 Scott was getting. But
here's the problem. With that pick, I'm pretty much guaranteed to lose. In the contest, because those are the same picks I've got.
They were, and I swear I did not alter them.
I know you didn't.
I did not alter them.
I'm just saying I'm sad, but hopefully we can hit it.
It's okay. If we both hit it, then we're both winners.
I guess you could lose. You could lose the rest, and I could still be okay.
You could still be all right.
There is a path. I'm trying to find a path to winning.
There is a path there because I don't know if that's gonna be enough. And then also you guys see my futures bet is on life support right now. Dodgers currently down 5-1 in Game 5, so that's not looking good. They would have to win both games in Toronto if there are 2. So that is looking like that'll be a $100 loss at this point. So then we go down. Let's see. We got a few minutes later. All right. So we've got, I did a $300. Just give me Ohio State money line, Houston money line, Indiana money line, Boise State money line, and Kansas money line, just because of who they're playing. No offense to Fresno State, but they are a 17.5 point dog with a new quarterback.
Dean has been very good on these money line parlays, by the way. So just keep in mind, you're only getting 2
to 1. Yeah, this one you're
having to
negative.
lay 300 to win 150 there. But think about it. Ohio State's a 20.5 point favorite.
Yep.
Houston, who is Houston playing?
I believe Houston's playing Kansas is playing Oklahoma State. Houston was playing another Big 12 bottom feeder. I forgot who it was. But
so I'm guessing they're the pretty big favorite there.
Huge favorite.
Yeah,
yes.
Indiana. The chances of Maryland.
I believe Indiana was playing Maryland.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Although, did you hear the Kirk Signetti soundbite?
No, what did he say?
On Maryland? It was getting some play, I think, on social media.
Okay.
He was like Lou Holtzing it when it came to describing Maryland.
Oh, boy.
If you listen to this minute-and-a-half breakdown of the Maryland Terrapins, you would be running to the window because there is no way they can lose. They're great at quarterback. They're great at running back. They're great at receiver. Defensively, he even mentioned the long snapper and the short snapper.
That's kind of like that Navy triple option that Lou used to talk about after Notre Dame would beat them 52-0. So... Anyway, let me just recap a couple more. I got a couple pro ones here. Heavy favorites. Give me Lions money line, Patriots money line, Colts money line, and Rams money line. I know the Rams are playing the Saints. The Colts are playing the Falcons, and the Patriots, I'm not sure. Lions are playing the Vikings. And I took one with spreads too. Lions -6.5 versus Minnesota. Packers -9.5 against Carolina, and the Rams -9.5 against New Orleans. Again, not huge money, but if you are going to Vegas, I would recommend throwing $10 on this because it could still, or $20 can still get you double the triple. And then I did a $60 one at the end there. Lions, Rams, Bills, Packers, Patriots, Chargers. A 6-teamer. All favorites. I just hope this doesn't go how my tennis plays went with our Angelique Martinez when she co-hosted with you, and I lost it all.
I'll tell you, Dean
45 seconds.
Dean does this a lot, like moneyline parlays with 4 or 5 teams, and you're going to lose a majority of them. But if you just hit one of them, you're okay. Before we go, Dean, I just want to mention, for those of you who are questioning my picking ability, I just want to point out that I am currently leading the Sports Central picks
by
contest.
how many games?
By like 7 or 8 games or something like that, right?
I think you're up 6 on me, and you're up like 10 on Angelique and Dylan.
I'm 8th out of 156 people on there, right?
Scotty, honestly, that is impressive as all hell. I'll give you the kudos there. You're up big on Angelique, Dylan, and myself. Good job. All right, we're out of time. You want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.